Hello, and welcome back to Coin Lady channel. Unreasonable requests from the SEC and significant new filings spark ripples of anger. In the most recent development in the current lawsuit involving Ripple, the business has voiced its opposition to the SEC's request for post-complaint discovery, prompting the XRP community to respond. Recently, James K. Philando tweeted, "According to a veteran federal prosecutor who keeps us informed on the SEC case, Ripple has responded to the SEC's request to enforce compliance with the agreement's terms. It appears from the filing that the SEC is trying to get Ripple to provide audited financial statements for 2022 and 2023. Generate all post-complaint XRP sales or transfers to non-employee counterparties, and respond to interrogatory questions on the XRP amount. Institutional sales profits obtained after the filing of the lawsuit for specific contracts. We should take Ripple's response to the SEC filing and dissect it as an argument." According to Ripple, the SEC is trying to tamper with the legal process by asking for irrelevant information. On this, the 20th of January, 2020, the fury of Kahneman, my eternal appreciation. For Ripple, these requests are submitted at the wrong time, which is the first argument against them. Rolliver claims that the SEC had plenty of time to pursue much of the desired information while the fact discovery window was open. They didn't have a good cause to do it, though, so they opted not to. Right now, Riff Raff further claimed that the SEC is demanding discovery documents that do not pertain to the recovery effort. According to Ripple, the parties had previously battled about whether or not discovery after a complaint was proper, and the SEC never brought up the fact that discovery after a complaint was relevant to remedies during that discovery disagreement. So, according to the SEC, what happened after the complaint had already been filed had no bearing on the matter whatsoever. After the accord, Ripple released a statement: "The motion was ultimately resolved, and the SEC should not be allowed to undo its cause." Rulison is the subject of 3 requests for proposals and 9 questions issued by the Securities and Exchange Commission on November 14. Ripple claims that they were issued with these demands on Thursday and describes them as ridiculous. In December, Ripple, the firm in question, objected to these demands for many reasons, including that discovery had already been concluded, with the exception of the limited discovery that the court had granted on November 13. In addition, the number of countries and territories allowed under Rule 33 had been exceeded, according to the Securities and Exchange Commission. In addition, not all of the questions pertaining to actions taken after a complaint were pertinent. In addition, Ripple argues that a lengthy ancillary case might ensue if the court finds that the sales that happened after the complaint was filed were legitimate. The XRP community has spoken out about Ripple's response to the SEC's requests, and many are expressing their hope that the Ripple SEC litigation will be settled by 2024. In the meanwhile, Ripple has received praise and comments from the XRP community. Since the SEC has the authority to force Ripple to provide its financial records and XR plan metrics, the company should comply. Ripple and the SEC are escalating their legal battle. Meanwhile, Borrell Finance Regard has plans to expand into a Web 3.0 marketplace powered by artificial intelligence. More than $2 million was raised during Borrell Finance's pre-sale. This is because the project has the ability to lower the entrance barrier in the online industry, which is why 3 investors are currently looking into it. During the 4th pre-sale stage, you could find it interesting to know that CRO is approaching a key support level, that Shiva is inside you, and that Borrow Finance has the potential to go higher. RO stands in for the Viral Financial Ecosystem's governance token by way of collateralized future income. Opportunities for investment funding will be created using non-fungible tokens, or NFTs, which members and Web3 have direct access to. Web3 content providers have short-term cash difficulties due to variables including inconsistent payments. Burr Finance aims to address this by using this strategy. U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission establishes additional requirements. Further inquiry into the matter is presently underway by the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. Regardless of the judge's ruling that XRP is not a security, the latest development in the long-running legal battle between Ripple and the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission shows no signs of ending very soon. Investors from BNB and Cardano are drawn to the enormous possibilities of border finance. As mentioned in the disclaimer, a third party has contributed to this content. If you want to do anything related to the firm, you won't find any of their recommended products on this page at Crypto News. Everyone using the service must invest independently. John Denton, who has made a name for himself criticizing the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, has repeated his displeasure with the agency's position on cryptocurrencies. Recently, Deaton, an XRP supporter, accused the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, of acting with a lack of integrity rather than intelligence in its handling of digital asset regulation. This is in response to comments made by Stuart Calderon, Ripple's chief legal officer, who disputed the SEC's stated allegations. In response to the infamous analogy they used during the oral argument, God drew attention to the fact that the SEC compared investing in cryptocurrency to funding an ecosystem of oranges. This comes after his sexy stance on cryptocurrency and the famous comparison to oranges. God went on to say that the legal arguments put forth by the SEC are laughable. The same reasoning applies to buying Bitcoin, and we're well aware of it. You might be wondering what the SEC attorney had to say about buying Bitcoin and why the cryptocurrency is not a security, but I dare you to guess. Bitcoin is decentralized. The SEC rule enforcer's lack of integrity, rather than ignorance, is the comparison that best describes them. This is where the comparison comes from. When an investor buys cryptocurrency, they essentially join the larger network that the coin is a part of. In order to prove that cryptocurrency tokens are more than just a collectible, they are essential to taking part in the underlying business venture. By illuminating what he sees as the most alluring bias for Bitcoin, Denton took advantage of an opportunity to make his case that crypto assets are valuable for more than merely accumulating dust. He brought out the fact that the SEC has an inconsistent stance on the classification of cryptocurrencies, noting that Bitcoin is not considered a security but that XRP, ADA, and SOL, three popular alternative cryptocurrencies, are. The lack of a Bitcoin network was one of the reasons given by the Securities and Exchange Commission to support this differentiation. In response, the company stated that the enforcement attorneys at the SEC are not that dim-witted. A lack of integrity and an apparent lack of true adherence to the law manifests itself in their flagrant disobedience of established norms. Additionally, it was emphasized in each of these tweets that the SEC's views on cryptocurrencies had substantially departed from the accepted legal standards. His comment was an expression of his worries about the potential negative impact of SEC rules on the Bitcoin industry. If it weren't for the potential bad consequences, he said, the Securities and Exchange Commission's method for regulating cryptocurrencies could be entertaining. A major source of contention in the cryptocurrency market is the Securities and Exchange Commission's, SEC, contradictory and confusing position on different digital assets. Trading advice should not be construed from the data that has been supplied. If you decide to invest based on the information on this page, CryptoPolitian.com is not responsible for your decisions. We recommend that you see an expert and do your own research before making any financial commitments. Please subscribe and like as always. See you soon, bye.